ladies. So as I promised you, I'm back with some things that you should consider before you start dating. And of course, if you're in a relationship already, it's still important for you to consider these things. All right? Because at the end of the day, as I shared with you, getting into a relationship is not something that you should take lightly. And especially when you're thinking about choosing a life partner, it's not something that you should take lightly. And so you definitely want to consider these things as you begin to, consider if you want to begin to date, and if you even want to evaluate the current relationship that you're in. And it might be a hard conversation for you to have with yourself, asking yourself these questions and answering these questions for yourself, but it's a conversation that needs to be done, and it's something that will be worth having. All right. And so the two things that I would say first and foremost that you should ask yourself is this relationship adding to my own joy, or is it constantly draining the life out of me? And that's for those of you who may be in a relationship already. Is the relationship adding to your joy, or is it just draining the life out of you? Because a lot of times we find ourselves in relationship where it's just constantly a battle. It's constantly a battle. Of course, no relationship is perfect. But if you find that you're in a relationship where there's more sad times, there are more tough times than there are happy, good times where you're really, making progress, then something is definitely wrong with that relationship. There's something wrong in that relationship, right? You want someone that will come in that relationship and add to your own joy. As well, you want to ask yourself, is this relationship going to add value to my overall life? Will it add value to your professional life, to your mental, emotional, and spiritual life? And you can answer that question for yourself, honestly, because you know, especially if you're in a relationship already, you know if that relationship is really adding value to your life. You know how that relationship is making you feel and the things that it's making you do, that goes against your values, your core values that you set for yourself, that goes against your beliefs. You know what that relationship is doing to you. If it's adding value, then, it's something might be there, but if it's not adding any value to your life, get out. Don't let fear keep you in a relationship. The fear of starting over, feeling like, oh my goodness, I've already invested 5 years, 10 years, 15 years of my life in this relationship. How will I start over? It's better to start over than to continue in the same cycle. There's a saying that says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you keep yourself in the same relationship and you see that the same things are happening over and over and the person is refusing to change, that person is not going to change. You know why? Because they know that you're never going to leave. They know that you're not going to leave. And so there's no change that is ever going to happen there. And you're going to find yourself stuck in a relationship where there's no growth happening for you or for your partner. All right. Something important that I want to encourage us to do, is to create a vision for your relationship. We have visions for everything that we do in our lives. I know for me, I have a vision for my life overall. I have a vision for my career. I have a vision, like visions for everything. I want to encourage us, to create a vision for your relationship. What is it that you really want in a relationship? And be intentional about sitting with yourself and writing down what you want in a relationship. Because the truth is, if you are clear about what you want in a relationship, then it becomes easy for you to spot the bullshit, right? Sorry for the word, but it becomes so easy. It becomes easy for you to spot when things are not as you want them to be, when things are not aligning with your values, when things are not aligning with your purpose. So it's important for you to create a vision for your relationship. All right, do it for yourself. What is it that you want from the relationship? Define it for yourself clearly. Why is it that I want a relationship? And what is it that I want from a relationship? What is it that I expect from my partner? What are my core values? Very importantly, you also need to ask yourself, what is it that, or who is it that I need to be to attract the kind of partner that I want? And this is very important because a lot of time we have our expectations of what we want the other person to be and to do. And we have a whole long list of things that we expect from the other person. But how about ourselves? How about doing the work on ourselves to make sure that we are attracting and aligning ourselves to be attracted to the kind of man that we want, you know? So we keep wondering, why is it that we're always just attracting these bum, good for nothing guys? It's because you've really not done the work on yourself so that the kind of man that you want would even want to consider you, because it's unfair for us to have these expectations of a man, what we would want from them, but then we don't do the internal work. We don't do the personal work to become the type of person that type of man would want. And so it's very important for you to ask yourself that question. Who do I need to be? What do I need to do? You know, and do the work on yourself, because I believe that that's the most important. Because the truth is, you won't attract what you want. You will attract who you are. You will always find yourself aligning with the people who is truly a reflection of who you are and the space and the place where you are at that point in time. All right. So having a vision for your relationship brings purpose. It brings direction to your relationship and to your dating, right? So take the time to do it. I know it might be something different for all of us, myself included. But I believe if we've been doing things, if we've been seeing ourselves doing things a certain way and it's not been working, it's high time for us to try something new. What do we really have to lose, right? And so I really want you to consider that. Consider these things as you begin to think about dating. And even if you're in a relationship right now, consider these things. Have this conversation with yourself. And I want to urge you, ladies, if you're asking yourself these questions, especially the first two about the relationship adding value to your life and bringing and adding to your own joy, and the answers are on the negative side, you truly need to consider stepping away from that relationship. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. And as I said, it's not good for every other person that is waiting for you to step out. Remember, as I shared with you some time back, nations are waiting for you. Nations are waiting to hear from you. Your life is important. You are not a mistake. You're here for a purpose. You're not here just taking up unnecessary space, ladies. And so we have to begin to be intentional about every single thing that we do with our lives. And that includes dating. All right. Don't let a man define you, sisters. Do not let a man define you. A man should be an option, not a definition. Don't let a man define you. First and foremost, do the work on yourself. If you look at these questions that I've posed to you, they all have to do with you doing that evaluation and self-reflection, and then doing that work on yourself. If you ask ladies who are in good relationship, what have they been doing? You'll see that maybe not directly writing a list like this, but they've been doing some intentional work. They've been intentional about what they want, intentional about not settling for anything less than what they want and what they deserve. Do not settle. And trust me, when I'm saying all these things, I always remind you that I'm also speaking to my own self. It's a reminder to my own self. Do not settle. Right? It's absolutely important for you to not settle, because your life is not just your life. And that's the truth. And I want you to take me seriously. Your life is not just your life. If you have children, their lives are depending on your life. And if you don't have children, there's others whose lives are depending on you walking in your purpose. That's the truth, and that's a fact. Your unborn children, their lives will be depending on your own walk and you walking in purpose. All right. So don't take it lightly. I want you to consider these things. Really sit with yourself and consider these things. as you go into dating. And if you're in a relationship, sit with yourself and consider these things too. And the truth is, sisters, I know it will not be easy. Take it from me. It's not easy walking away, especially from familiarity. But your whole life depends on it. So if you've done the evaluation, sisters, and you need to walk away, beloved, walk away and don't look back because your life depends on it. The success of your life depends on it. The fullness of your life depends on it. And others are depending on you making the right decision and aligning yourself with the right relationships that will enable you to walk in the fullness of your purpose. All right. Have a good one, ladies. Sending love, sending light, and wishing you all the best in this year, 2022. Let's do the work that it takes. Let's dismantle these tables that's been set before us. Let's shake the table. Let's break the whole damn table and let's do things differently. Let's do things differently for ourselves and for the generation ahead. I want you to remember, breaking the generational curses is up to you. You can be the one that says, you know what? The buck stops here. The buck stops here. This cycle is not going to be repeated in my family, not again in the mighty name of Jesus. I know I have said that for my own self. There are many cycles that I'm breaking. And you know, the truth is sometimes I worry about what people will say. But when I'm reminded that my kid's life depends on it, and there's so many other lives that are depending on me doing what I need to do, I don't care what anybody has to say about me. I know that I'm walking in purpose. I know that I'm living an intentional life. And at the end of the day, the fruits will speak. The fruits will speak for itself. All right? Let your actions, let the fruits of the seeds that you've planted speak for itself. Love you, ladies. I love you. I love you. I love you. Sincerely, I love you. Sending love and light. Your girl, Amanda. Bye. I'll be back soon with another one.